Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is your daily horoscope for June 10th, 2020. So, we are in this in order to enter into this new space of what we feel truly divinely connected to in our lives. So this is a major moment of opening up new doorways, especially with the North Node being in Gemini. Right, so we talked a lot about that North Node in Gemini, where this has really been a time here of moving away from our old belief systems, right, which is where that full moon lunar eclipse was, at that space of our belief systems, of travel, of escapism, of higher knowledge, of optimism, of belief. And so this is a major time where our beliefs are really against us in our lives, right? This is a time where if you are believing a truth without the true facts of what is really going on, then you are getting caught into the cycles of the past, right? So this is a major time of making sure that we understand the facts, the true information, that we're truly connecting, communicating, finding the real answers and details, and taking the logical steps that we need to pull our dreams into reality. So for those of us who are escaping into this space of hoping, wishing, dreaming, believing, the big story here is that it is a time of letting go, especially coming off of that lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, that it was a major release point of our belief systems. Right, so this is a big time here of understanding the true facts in our lives. Truly communicating and finding and searching for the real answers that we need to take the steps to move towards our dreams. Because remember that the South Node is a major karmic point that we're not getting rid of. It is a point that we are learning from so that we can reach towards the North Node. So releasing these old karmic cycles of just believing and hoping and wishing and dreaming is in moving towards this logical plan of action to pull our dreams into reality. And that is this Gemini North Node, because remember that the North Node is exalted here in Gemini. This North Node Rahu is the head of the dragon. It is this hunger, this appetite for more knowledge, more experiences. And of course, Gemini is this intellectual sign of curiosity and communication, of pulling in new experiences and opportunities into our lives. So it is a major time of understanding that if you want something, if you have a wish, a hope, a dream for the future, which many of us have at this time, then the answer here is in coming up with a logical plan of action to pull these dreams into reality. So this is a time of not just sitting back and hoping for something to happen, but it is a time of taking the actual steps to pull this into reality. And so for those of you who are sitting back, who are waiting for something to happen in your lives, it's not going to happen, because remember that, and especially here on the 10th, we are reminded with this moon in Aquarius that it is a time to be logical. It is a time to plan ahead. It is a time to understand the steps to get to your future goals. Because remember that Aquarius is connected to the future, is connected to our hopes, our wishes, and dreams. And so it is a time where we're dealing with this air energy of understanding what is the logical steps to get to where you want to be. And remember that Mars is here in Pisces and now in this conjunction with Neptune, where this is a major time of, are we just getting lost in this hoping and dreaming but not acting on the dreams? Because Mars in Pisces is here at this position where it's very confused here, right? Mars is this energy of passion, of drive, of purpose, this determination to act. And it's in this daydreamy, imaginative, spiritual energy of Pisces where are we just getting lost into our fantasies and our dreams about what we want, or are we taking the real action to get there? And especially in this conjunction with Neptune, where Neptune is here at home in Pisces, increasing this dreaminess of just believing and wishing and hoping. So this is a time where we want to be careful of, are we actually taking the steps? And especially with this Mars being in a square with the Sun in Gemini, right? So we have the Sun here at 19 degrees of Gemini, making the square where what we are meant to do, what we are trying to express, is in the logic, is in the facts, but we're trying to act from this place of believing and dreaming and hoping. And this is where this conflict is at, is are we going to just hope and wish and dream? Are we here in the physical, taking the logical steps, communicating, getting our points across in order to get to where we are trying to go? Because remember that Venus is also here, right? And Venus getting ready to come out of retrograde as it is moving back in Gemini here, coming up very shortly on this Venus direct. But Venus has spent a great deal of time here in Gemini, where this is the creative energy that is about pulling your dreams into reality. Because remember that Venus is the esoteric ruler of Gemini. It is about connection. It is about creativity. It is about building and creating logically what you want to have for yourself. And so Venus here is creating this creative energy. And remember that Gemini is ruling the hands, where we're shaping and molding the reality that we want to see for ourselves. And we saw a lot of that with that release point of those major T-squares being in the sign of Virgo, where this is about bringing your dreams into your reality through the practical, logical steps of how you're going to get there. And so there's a big question here that's going on of, what are the true logical steps of how I'm going to get to my goals in life? We have this dream, we have this vision, but how are you pulling it into your reality? And remember that with all of this Gemini going on, Mercury has already moved on into Cancer, right? Where we're getting ready for this Mercury retrograde coming up on the 18th. So just 8 days away here from this retrograde, where Mercury is already in shadow, right? It's already here in pre-shadow in the sign of Cancer. And so there's a question here of, how do we logically take our feelings and break it down into the steps to get to our goals? So a lot of feeling, a lot of connection that is happening here with this Mercury, where we have to trust our instincts, we have to trust our feelings, and we have to come up with a plan of action to pull these feelings into something that is real. Because with Mercury here in Cancer, we are understanding our feelings, we're understanding what is nurturing to us, we're understanding how to connect, but how do we take the true steps to get here? And with this moon that is in Aquarius, the moon being the ruler of Cancer, this is all about what is logical. This is all about the plan. And we're dealing with the plan with Saturn being here in Aquarius. Of course, Saturn getting ready to enter into Capricorn very soon here, as it's sitting on the cusp here at 1 degrees of Aquarius. So coming up very shortly here in early July, we're going to see this Saturn retrogress back into Capricorn, into the old reality, the old structure that we have experienced here. And so there is a big question that is also going on here of, are we going to step back into the old patterns and cycles of the past? Because with this Saturn that is moving backwards into Capricorn, we are stepping back into the past. Remember that Saturn in Aquarius is all about the future. It is this authority and this role to play in humanity of bringing us all together in this space of unity, which is of the future. So we have this preview here with Saturn and Aquarius of what is to come in December, of this new reality of needing to come together as a collective to support one another. We are out of this old construct of a system being the authority, being the role model, and this is coming back to our responsibility as a collective. And so it is a major time here of understanding that, are we going to go back to a place where we are relying on a system or a structure that is falling apart? Because remember that Pluto is here in Capricorn, in this conjunction with Jupiter retrograde, where it is breaking down the structure of our reality. And so as Saturn retrogresses back into Capricorn, we are going back to an old, broken down reality that no longer serves us. So there's a question of, are we going to go backwards into this place of comfort, or are we moving forward into a place of true divine unity, where we are supporting one another, where we are focusing on our future goals and visions? And there is a lot of fear that's going on with this Chiron and Aries, where this is a major time of the fear of the appearance, of how it looks, of how we're going to show up. And so we have this question here of, are we going to sit back in this place of fear of how things look? Or are we going to step into this true connection of what we want to experience? Because remember that Juno is here in Libra, where it's spent a great deal of time where we're in this space of wanting this commitment, but there's this fear of commitment that is attached to this fear of what the appearance is like, of what it looks like, of how we're showing up in this space. And so we can connect and commit to this beautiful life for ourselves, or we can stay in this place of fear for what the situation will look like in our lives. And so it is a big time of realizing your purpose and realizing how you're going to show up in your life, where you are headed, what is the plan of how you're going to get there. Especially with Uranus and Taurus. Remember that this is Uranus at its fall position in Taurus, where it is breaking down our old foundation, our old security, our old structure, right? This idea of these old values and this old sense of comfort and security is falling apart. It's being broken down with this Uranus and Taurus, where it is a big time of understanding that now is the time to find a new form of stability in your life, a new form of security that serves you to your highest, greatest good. And this is Uranus that is trying to elevate us through this liberation of breaking down our old reality. And we do have this grand trine that's going on in the sky here with this Sun in Gemini, Moon in Aquarius, and the vertex that is in Libra here. So we are here trying to bring our lives into balance through connection, through communication, through a logical plan of action. And there is a great potential that is happening here with this grand trine, where this is a major time of building the beautiful life that we want to have for ourselves. This Libra energy of this comfort, this beauty, this connection that we want to pull into our lives at this time. And so what is the choice here? What are you choosing to do in your life? We have this T-square that is also going on here with Lilith. And Pluto. And this vertex. So we have this very short T-square that is going on here, where there is a big question of, is our reality, our fears, and what we desire adding up at this time? And the release point of this T-square is happening in Cancer, where we have to feel it, we have to truly connect to what we want to have in our lives. And so, especially with this Vesta that has entered here into Cancer, leaving behind that Gemini energy, this is a major time of what is fulfilling to you, what is nurturing, what are you truly connected to and truly passionate about in your life. So this is a big time of finding true connection and what you want to have for yourself. And so what is it that we are trying to farm in our lives to have this connection that we want for ourselves? Are you truly connected to a purpose, to a mission that is satisfying, that is fulfilling to you? Or are you connecting to something that is unfulfilling, that doesn't nurture your soul, right? And there's a lot of wanting to attach and latch on to experiences that are not fulfilling to you, which is pulling back those old lessons of the North Node in Cancer. Because keep in mind that going through this eclipse season, we are entering into, on the 21st, this new moon solar eclipse in Cancer, and this lunar eclipse full moon in Capricorn. So we are clearing out these energies of the North Node and the South Node that we were previously in, right? So even though we are in this space of the North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius, we are still working with these energies of Cancer and Capricorn. We're still in this space of clearing out the old cycle. And so there's still a question here of whether we are still trying to attach and latch onto these old constructs and these old experiences that are not fulfilling, instead of trying to move towards what is home, what is true connection, what is truly fulfilling to us in our lives. And so where are we finding this true feeling and connection that we truly want to experience? And there is a lot that is coming up here about going back to old relationships that are no longer fulfilling, going back to old work situations that are no longer fulfilling. And so, are you in this space of trying to go back into a situation that is not nurturing, that is not fulfilling to you? Keep in mind that this is Sirius in Pisces, where what is truly nurturing and what is truly substance to us in our lives is what is of the deepest, most fulfilling connection to us. And so, are you connecting to what is divinely and truly fulfilling to you in your life? Or are you connecting to something that is bringing you this emptiness and this lack of substance in your life? There's a big question here of what we are trying to connect and latch onto. Because remember that coming off of this lunar eclipse, which many of us are still feeling, right? This is a very powerful eclipse that we're coming off of. This is all about letting go, releasing those old stories, those old belief systems that no longer serve us. And so, are you trying to latch on to something that is no longer fulfilling to you to try to get this fulfillment of this empty space in your life? This is a big time of understanding how to fill this empty space on your own and what is truly nurturing to you in your soul. So are you trying to gravitate towards these external desires to try to fill this void within yourself? Because this is a major time of going inward and doing the work that is necessary for yourself before trying to latch on to anything that is outside of you. Remember that this is a North Node in Gemini, where this idea of this journey and this long distance travel and this seeking outside of yourself, which is Sagittarius, is the karmic patterns and lessons of the past. In order to break this cycle, we are moving towards true connection, the true knowledge and information, our immediate environment with Gemini. And so are you trying to run and escape and seek something that is outside of yourself? Are you truly connecting inward with yourself? Remember that Gemini is dealing with your thoughts. It is dealing with communication. And so bringing this back into your mindset, into your ideas, your thinking patterns. Are you trying to escape where you're at, or are you truly connecting in with your thoughts, with your mindset? Are you in a space where you are working on positive thinking and having a positive outlook on how you are going to experience and pull in these new opportunities in your life? I also pulled some cards as well for today's horoscope, and this is going to be using the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle deck as well as some traditional playing cards. So going to change this up a little bit for today. The first card that comes up is Aries in reverse. So there's a big question here with Aries in reverse of if we are stepping into our true power and our true worth. Are we trying to put on a false identity with this Aries energy? Are we trying to put on this false identity? Are we trying to latch onto false, unfulfilling experiences? Because remember that Aries is connected to that first house that is dealing with your perception, that is dealing with the lens that you are experiencing life through. And there is something big to say about this false ego, this false identity of trying to latch onto an old identity, onto an old experience that is no longer fulfilling to you in your life. Because remember, the big thing that we talked about here in today's horoscope is Cancer. That this is about truly nurturing and fulfilling your needs. This is about connecting to what is truly nurturing and fulfilling in your life. What is of the highest value to you? What do you truly feel connected to? Are we trying to disconnect with this moon in Aquarius? Or are we fully connecting to the true experience? Last card here is the King of Diamonds. So we are meant to step into our true purpose, passion, and authority. Right? This is about being stable and practical and assuming your true worth and authority. Where are you in a position where you are truly happy and fulfilled? Are you taking the practical steps to get to where you want to be in your life? Remember that Virgo release point of these T-squares that we've gone through here throughout the month of May, coming up into June here. And especially coming off of those eclipses, that Sagittarius lunar eclipse, where Virgo is a major part of this releasing and this clearing of these old belief systems by moving into what is truly the logical and practical way to pull our dreams into reality. And so you can have this King of Diamonds moment where you are in your true power and authority, where you are truly stable and doing what is truly fulfilling and nurturing to your soul. By making sure that you are fully connecting and investing into what is of the highest value to you and leaving behind these false identities, these false attachments. These old stories and these old connections that no longer serve you. So that was your horoscope for June 10th, 2020. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And I want to thank you all once again so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.